Hey everyone, I'm Ian Douglas, the author of the website techinterview.guide. I do live streams every Sunday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern about topics relevant to interview preparation for the tech industry. I occasionally record longer Q&A sessions, and I've started to break those into smaller videos to post. And there'll be information at the end of this video about how to get in contact with me if you have additional questions. Let's get to it. Heartbender asks a tough question in chat. Have I ever been fired from a dev job? Oops. Let's try that again. Copy. Paste. Have I ever been fired from a dev job? I have not been fired from a dev job. I have tried really hard to keep an eye on what's going on in my place of business, like wherever I'm working, to try to get a sense of, is it time to move on from a business perspective? Is it time to move on because I've got a new interest that I want to seek out? Or is it just time to move on because, this isn't working out mutually? And so when I've put in my resignation, the amount of notice that I give the company depends a little bit on kind of the position of the company, what they're doing, how much I respect the leadership of that company, and like whether I'm going to leave them in a bad spot by walking away. And so it varies a little bit. We typically recommend in the tech industry, give 2 weeks notice. Some companies though, when you say hey, I'm thinking about moving on, here's my notice, to be you know what? It's cool. You can just tomorrow's your last day kind of thing. And so there is a bit of a risk when you put in your notice that a company just says hey, today's your last day, don't worry about it. One company, for example, I put in a month's notice, and I spent that month just putting tons of work into documentation and finishing up some projects that they had me working on that I was pretty close to finishing, but I really needed out of that job. It wasn't paying industry salary rate. We only got 1 week of time off per year, including sick leave, and they didn't pay for any benefits. And I wanted out of that job really badly. And so I left that job. So even though I didn't really care for the company, I still gave them a month of notice because I was leaving them in a pretty bad position. And I wanted to make sure that they had lots of time to hire somebody else. And they treated me very well over that month. They paid for extra meals because they knew I was going to put in a lot of extra time writing up documentation, things like that. And so they went kind of above and beyond to make sure that I was leaving on good terms, and it was a mutual respect that we were parting ways. Even though I didn't like the company and I didn't care for my boss, I was still leaving in a respectful way. Someone else on the team tried the same maneuver, and they're yeah, you know what, I think I'm going to leave too. And they're all right, there's the door, and basically walked him out the same day. And he's what the heck? I tried to give you notice. And they're yeah, you're done. That's fine. And so not everybody's going to get treated the same way. It will come down to respect and sort of the reputation that you build up within the company. And if they know that you're going to be respectful and, and that everything has gone pretty smoothly, it'll work out pretty well. Dota 2 mentioned in chat as kind of a follow-up, I asked to be laid off once and he forced me to quit instead. So the thing with that, if the company lays you off, they are on the hook to pay unemployment and perhaps a severance and things like that. But if you resign, it can be trickier to get unemployment, and they typically don't have to pay you any sort of severance pay. But if they ask you to leave the company, then they have to pay all this stuff. And so there are even circumstances where the company is look, this isn't working out. We want you to resign. We don't want to have to fire you, so we want you to resign. So every company's a little bit different with how they want to handle that kind of stuff. So, hey, thanks for watching. I love helping people out with interview prep, and I hope this video helped you in some way. If you found this Q&A useful, please consider subscribing. You can follow me on Twitch as well for the live stream twice a week. Check out techinterview.guide/streaming for more information. I also have a daily email series that you can subscribe to on the website. There are never any ads, and when you finish the series, I scrub your information out of my database permanently. Finally, if you have a question that you'd like answered on the stream, you can find my contact info on techinterview.guide. I prefer LinkedIn or email. If you leave your question in a YouTube comment, it might take me longer to find it, but I'll see you next time.